Turning on to Storm Watch 12 meteorologist Josh Colbert looking at our weather today. We pretty much are under a heat watch everywhere in our region. How significant is this heat going to be in terms of danger for people? We've seen hot days so far this year, but why is this event a big one that people need to be concerned about?
Because the hottest day of the year so far in Medford is 103 degrees. The forecast I have here on the sheet is 105 degrees. So this is going to be the hottest day if the forecast pans out, that is. This is going to be the hottest day of the year so far. So you have to use caution outside. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of that here in a second. This morning already pretty mild in Yreka, shaping up to be a beautiful morning. Clear skies, 62 degrees. Over on the east side this morning, temperatures pretty uniform. 60s there, 60s in our west side valley, 61 degrees in Brookings. A little bit cooler up towards Chemult and Crater Lake, where temperatures are in the mid-40s. All right, I'm going to step off the screen here for the next couple of graphics so we can go over all of this in great detail. So we have a heat advisory that's in place for pretty much all of southern Oregon and northern California, minus Crater Lake and minus the coast. For the west side, for Siskiyou County, for the Klamath Basin, this runs from 10 a.m. this morning all the way through Tuesday. And then for the Great Basin, this is just for Tuesday. Highs could be anywhere between 90 degrees to 105 degrees. So be sure you are drinking plenty of water if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time. Be sure you are taking breaks from the heat. Try to stay in a climate controlled environment. But if you're outside and if you start experiencing any of these symptoms that are listed on this graphic, definitely take the precautions that are listed down at the bottom of the graphic. Hopefully it doesn't come to this, but it's better to be safe than to be sorry. Today will be an excellent day to cool off and pee in the pool, definitely, or again, at the very least, just be in an environment that's cooler. But if you are going to be poolside, be sure you have the sunscreen on hand, as the UV index is going to be very high. Again, it goes from a scale from 1 to 11, and the UV index for today is a 10. So your skin could get damaged by the sun anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes of just being outside. So be sure you're putting on the sunscreen and that you are reapplying the sunscreen. Today, it's going to be hot. No other way to say it. Plenty of sunshine. The hottest areas will be our west side valleys, especially the Klamath River Valley down in Siskiyou County. Then overnight, it's going to feel pretty stuffy outside, especially once again in our west side valleys, as some of those lows are going to have a tough time even dipping below 70 degrees. Just think about that for a second. Thankfully, there is a little bit of relief on the way, especially for Wednesday and for Thursday. It's still going to be pretty hot. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 90s, but they're definitely not going to be in the triple digits. We have one more day of that on Tuesday, and then after that, we get into a much more seasonal pattern. And unfortunately, that means this. No rain in the forecast over the next 7 days. So even though the heat's going to be a temporary thing, the drought, that is going to be a persistent issue. Here's the 7-day forecast along the coast. No rain in the forecast at all. It doesn't look like the Chetco effect breaks down a little bit along the coast. Today we could have temperatures getting into the 80s, maybe even the 90s in Brookings, but we'll get a bit of a different wind pattern into the rest of the week, and temperatures will be more on the order of 70 degrees down towards Brookings. And then for Siskiyou County, dangerously hot for today. For Tuesday, cooling off a little bit into the rest of the week, but temperatures are still going to be hovering around 95 degrees or so. Then for the Klamath Basin, we're going to be near 90 degrees towards the end of the week. But look at this, we can make a run for 100 degrees on Tuesday. And you can also see some windier conditions for Tuesday and Wednesday. So the Storm Watch 12 weather team is going to keep a very close eye on that when it comes to fire danger. For the mountains, really no refuge for today. Temperatures even there are going to be in the 90s, backing off into the 70s and 80s a little bit later this week. And then for the Rogue Valley, dangerously hot for today, less so for Tuesday, more seasonal for the rest of the week. And look at this, maybe even dipping back into the 80s for the weekend.
Okay, well, it's nice to see at least a gradual cool down throughout the week. We don't love 2 triple-digit days back-to-back, but if we can just keep it at 2 and be back down to the 80s by this weekend, I think that's relatively good news.
Yeah, it's a quick ascent, but it's a quick descent as well.
Well, we'll take it. Thank you, Josh.
Of course.